What's up everybody, and thank you for joining me for another video. My name is Whack4863, but you can call me Whack. So I've been playing the first season of Diablo 4 for quite some time now, and I've got to tell you that this could possibly ruin your Diablo Season 1 experience like it did mine. So bear in mind that this is something that is occurring in game. You can partake in this, however, you may decide that this is the only place that you want to spend your time and you don't want to spend your time farming anywhere else. At least that is the case for me now that I have this information, and it's all about the Tormented Echo of Varshan. Now, I was able to defeat him at level 71 with a little bit of understanding of his fight and some practice, so you could do this pretty early on. He's much easier now that I've leveled up to 78. Now what you're going to need to do is complete the season storyline. That way you defeat Varshan the first time. That's going to give you access to the Foul Invoker of Varshan. You need to go to World Tier 3 and defeat the Foul Echo of Varshan. That will give you the recipe for the Tormented Echo of Varshan. Now, the Tormented Echo of Varshan is on World Tier 4, and when you defeat him on World Tier 4, he only drops items with a power level of 800. Now, he's able to drop everything from sacred gear all the way up to unique gear at item level 800. So that might sound awesome at first. You're thinking, hey, I can go farm this guy and get item power 800 gear and fully kit myself out. And it does sound awesome at first until you realize that that's the only thing you're going to be doing in the game, because there is nowhere else to go and get guaranteed item power level 800 gear all the time. So this creates a situation where this is the only thing you want to do, because the rest of the loot in the game just isn't as good as going and doing this. And honestly, I feel like they should just make it so that he has a better chance of dropping the Wrathful Hearts and maybe a better chance of dropping uniques. But having a location that you can just go out and farm the level 800 item power gear just makes all the rest of the content seem worthless to go and actually engage in. Sure, there's a chance you could get something that's a higher item level. You could end up getting an 812 or an 815 in another location, but is that even going to be that much of an upgrade that you are willing to spend all the time necessary to farm that particular item? When you're guaranteed to get at least 2 drops that are item level 800, it makes it really hard to convince yourself to go do any other content in the game, because if you've played Diablo 4 for any amount of time, you know that the likelihood of getting an item level 800 or higher drop is very low, let alone the fact that you may or may not see the affixes on that particular piece of gear that you want. So increasing your chances to get those affixes on 800 level gear really makes a huge difference in the grand scheme of things. And I honestly feel like most people are going to respond just like I did. If there's a place to go and get item level 800 items all the time, why would I spend any time farming anything except for that? That should be where I'm spending my time. That's where my time is going to be best spent per hour or per minute or per whatever, because it's going to give me a guaranteed chance for item level 800, and the item level 800 is absolutely massive to your character build. And honestly, I can't tell you to go and spend your time anywhere else for farming gear. Sure, if you want to farm a lot of gear, those particular dungeons are not the place to do it. However, if you're just looking to kit yourself out with specific items, that's the place that I would recommend going, and I can't recommend anywhere else to go, because I can't say that you're going to get better gear just out in the world. And honestly, it just makes Season 1 even easier. The hearts have made it very easy, and the addition of the ability to just go and get item level 800 gear right off the bat makes the season even easier. There's no doubt in my mind that the nerfs that came to the Eternal Realm prior to the season were done in part because they had to nerf all the characters in order to not have the season be any easier than it is, and it's already extremely easy. So in my mind, this is a big mess up for Diablo. They should have worked on things a little bit differently in order to make the season not as easy as it is, and worked in a bit more RNG to the really good gear, because having things that are this easy to get just takes the fun out of what the game's all about. The game is all about killing more and more monsters so that you can get more and more loot to increase your chances of getting better gear. So I'm sorry if this ruins your gameplay experience. However, I will say you should probably go out and do this if you're interested in doing that, because I have a feeling that very soon they are going to patch this out of the game. I would, if I was developing the game, I would not leave this in. I would make those drops more RNG and maybe a little bit less powerful, or just change the way that the drop system works for that particular boss, where it's giving you a better chance, like I said, at uniques and legendaries, but it's not always going to be item level 800 that you get from that boss. Especially since the fight really isn't that hard. It is definitely a lot easier than fighting Uber Lilith, let's say. So if we're getting garbage loot from Uber Lilith, I don't see any reason why we should get better loot from Varshan. It just doesn't make any sense in my mind. But I want to know what you think in the comments section below. Leave that and tell me what your thoughts are on the ability to get level 800 loot this easily. I'd like to thank all my YouTube members for your continued support. Y'all are absolute legends. If you'd like to become a legend, there's a button that says join on this page. Click that for details. There's 2 videos on the screen. Click one of those to watch next, and I'll meet you over there.